I am once again asking for your financial support.
If you enjoy the stuff that I make, please consider being a patron of my Patreon page. Patreon.com/Neil P. Neil P. Thanks in advance. Love you, love you. Hi everyone, welcome back to, this is, I believe, episode 82 of my internet program called SUPcast, as in What's Upcast. My name is Neil Patterson, I'm a dude, and I'm here with another dude, a Canadian dude, and he is your preferred pronoun, correct?
Yes,
okay.
That works.
He and I met on an app called TikTok, and I was aware of this human being, but I didn't really get it. I'll be honest, I'll be a 1,000,000% honest with you. But this is the thing, is I appreciate, what's the word I'm looking for? I appreciate when someone is passionate, and I appreciate when someone is themselves, you know? And if someone's a weirdo as well, because I consider myself a weirdo. So when I saw the Fantano interview with this human being, Mr. Anndy Negative, I was smitten.
Hi. And
I realized that he and I are cut from similar cloths, and we're both old people making music. So
yes, that we are. Basically ancient.
Yeah, Mr. Anndy Negative. What I want to do is I want to delineate from the kind of Fantano, like, so when did you get into music and stuff?
Yeah.
So if you could introduce yourself and give a synopsis of who you are, what you do, so we could get all that shit over with.
All right, broad strokes. I'm Anndy Negative. I'm a pop punk emo musician from Canada. I've been making music for like 20 years. Most of it terribly unsuccessful. And then I started playing music on my own because musicians are unreliable. And then I had some success on the internet. And now here I am just doing weird shit for fun because it entertains me.
Yay. Yeah. On the internet. Oh, wow, wow. Okay, so I want to tell you something that happened to me the other day. So I do a catering gig.
Okay.
And I'm 41 years old. Like, I was born in 1981.
You look good for 41.
Oh, thanks, dude. You look good too. I was checking out your thirst trap on Instagram. What's up?
Gotta sell it while you can.
Yeah. So I was driving around in the catering van with these, and they might as well have been children. And I was like, "Have y'all seen Idiocracy?" Because they were talking about, how the world is fucked and yada yada yada. Like, and I was like, "Have you seen Idiocracy?" I was quoting Idiocracy, and they had no idea what I was talking about. And I'm like, "When were y'all born?" They said, 2004. Like, I'm in a van, a 41-year-old dude with two 18-year-olds, quoting movies that they have no idea that even exist. And so we're old. Yeah, I guess.
Definitely old. Definitely old. That's a great movie, though.
It's amazing. And well, I feel like it's more prevalent in the United States as far as that social commentary, because for all intents and purposes, my understanding is that Canada is a little more evolved. But then I have friends, and we'll get into this, who live in Ottawa, that say it's not that much more evolved the United States. That's just kind of a misconception. What do you think?
America light, I guess. Like I think it's a bit better in a lot of cases, but it's not 100% better.
Yeah, like y'all had that protest in Ottawa, and
oh god.
So Ottawa's the capital, correct?
Yeah, it's the capital
of the entire country.
Yeah, the entire country.
Okay, but it's not a big city.
It's it's like a couple million people. Like, it's pretty small compared to like Toronto or Vancouver. That's where like a lot of the entertainment industry is and stuff here. And Ottawa is like kind of more of like a sleepy government. I call it a town. It's a city, but I call it a town. Yeah.
So, and when everyone converged on Ottawa, that must have been a total clusterfuck. Did you witness any of that?
Yeah, a bit. They shut down our entire downtown core area with their trucks and stuff like that, and their protest. And so when they weren't, they would park in a hotel parking lot that's literally like 2 minutes away from where I live. So we would hear them honking all night long and yelling and screaming. And yeah, it was a total absolute disaster. And you couldn't get on and off the highway. You couldn't drive around places. Like, you had to divert your entire, like, everything. If you wanted to go visit, like, I wanted to go visit my family, my dad came to get me, and we had to divert by like 15 minutes just to get back on the highway to go across the other side of town, because you couldn't cross onto certain sections of the highway because they blocked it all off. It was a mess. It was a total disaster.
Oh, okay. Because I'm kind of dumb. What exactly were they protesting? It was vaccine.
I don't know, man.
Oh, you don't know?
I don't know. Yeah, they kept changing and swapping. Initially, it was vaccine passports, and then I think it was like a power trip thing. I don't 100% even know, because it just kept changing, and no one was really 100% sure.
And what ultimately happened? Didn't a lot of
Nothing.
No. Okay, so it's dumb.
Yeah, nothing happened. That's it. Like, the police came in eventually and then sent them all away, and that was that.
Imagine driving from the United States, from like the southern United States, all the way up to Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, just to park your truck and honk.
And annoy people for 2 weeks.
Nice. My buddy who works down there was saying that they had like a bounce house for all the kids.
Yeah, there was a lot of kids. I didn't go into the downtown for those 2 weeks. I just avoided it because I was like, I don't want to be a part of any of this. But yeah, I did hear there was a lot of kids.
Yeah, like, bring your kids. We have a bounce house for the protest.
It's fun. It's a fun time.
That's wild. So
yeah, it's super crazy.
Another thing I wanted to touch on, and I might bounce around a lot here.
That's cool.
I remember in the late 90s, I saw this band Blink-182.
Never heard of them.
Yeah. And so in your Fantano interview, when were you in high school? You were saying in high school it was like Blink-180 everything, right?
Yeah. So I was high school, like early 2000s. I graduated 2006. So whatever that means, 2000, I guess I started grade 7.
Okay.
Or does that work? I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. I'm not good at math, dude.
Whatever. I started high school. Yeah. Like 99, 2000, whatever, that era.
Yeah. I graduated in 99, but
okay.
I remember like Blink-182, I was there kind of before they became this like cultural phenomenon. Like I witnessed the TRL years of Blink-182.
Yeah.
But I witnessed in 1997 on the third stage of Warped Tour, not the second stage, the third stage of Warped Tour. I saw Blink-182 play in front of 50 people and just cuts off a Cheshire Cat. Do you remember?
Nice.
Do you have that one?
I'm a deep Blink fan. Like I have all the records, and I've listened to all the shitty, terrible early music, and yeah.
Cheshire Cat is amazing. M&M's, that's a great song.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good songs on there.
And being a dorky, lonely dude, who just wanted like a cute girlfriend back in those days, I that shit really resonated with me. I remember I was like a junior in high school. I was a virgin, and I'm just like, yeah, wouldn't it be nice to like drive to Madagascar with some cute girl, and we could eat candy and listen to music, and it was tough for me.
They had a really good way of connecting with that kind of like a forlorn desire for just like a significant other that's cool. They really got that across in their music really well, and I think that's a big reason why they connected with so many young people at the time, because it was just like, oh yeah, wouldn't it be cool to like have a girlfriend and be cool and not have everybody think you're just a loser? Like, wouldn't that be awesome? And you're like, it would be so cool.
Yeah, I remember very vividly because I don't know if I have a photographic memory, but everything that happened to me in 97, 98, 99, my formative like high school years when I was finding myself is so vivid to me. And I still remember the car I was driving, and I remember driving around with my plug-in CD player tape thing.
I remember those.
Yeah, dude. Listening to Cheshire Cat with my friend Greg, who was in my first band. And dude, so many of my band's first songs back in those days were like a mix between Guttermouth and Blink-182. It was, and then we were like, mix. We were obsessed with Chili Peppers too. So it was like Guttermouth, Blink-182, Chili Peppers mix
with some like slappy bass in it.
Yeah. But
cool.
We weren't that like technically proficient at the time, so it was just kids like learning about themselves. Listening to Minutemen for the first time, listening to B-52s for the first time. Listening to Blink-182 and the 91 Chili Peppers album, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, and we're like, let's put all, and then Sublime, we're like, let's put all this in a band, and that was my first band with my best friend Greg.
That's a fun combination of different bands.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
No. I remember, I can't remember how old I was, but my family was moving house, and the day that we moved, my parents, like, we went to go grab food or something, because obviously there's no food in the house. You just moved. And my parents were like, took us to Walmart and were like, hey, you can grab a CD because you guys did a good job. Me and my brother, like, you guys did a good job today helping us move. You can buy a CD. So I got Cheshire Cat, and it was the only CD unpacked. And I had this like shitty old boombox, and we sat in the basement, just my brother and I, and just listened to Cheshire Cat start to finish in this like house full of boxes at the end of the day. It was like a really cool moment.
Yeah, and that's the thing I also noticed about your interview, when I feel like so many people that give you shit on the internet have lost touch with that childlike innocence, that having fun thing. And you were talking to Fantano about that. I was going for a walk yesterday, and I was like resonating with that because I'm a goofy dude.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Yeah, people hate.
They can't stand it.
They hate it when you're having fun, and especially everyone I went to high school with has like multiple children. Some of them are on their first divorce, you know, and I'm like dancing to Shania Twain in my underwear, you know, like
it's a good life to live, honestly.
Well, that's what resonated when you're just like, hey, I'm just having a good time. And when I listened to the interview, and you had already followed me on TikTok, and I'm like, I fucking like this dude. And that keeps happening to me on TikTok. You see people's content because you get fed all this random shit, and at first glance, sometimes you don't really get it. But that's the thing about TikTok, is like, how can you really get a 10-second snippet of somebody, you know?
You can't. It's impossible. Like the first time I saw, I think you showed up on my feed. I don't remember exactly what the video was, but I was like, this is an intense dude. This person has a lot of intensity. And I was like, you know what? I'm here for it. This seems like fun. And
that's fucking funny.
The more you watch, the more you're like, oh, okay, this is just like a person who just is like stoked about being themselves. That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, and I feel I get the same vibe from you. And but what's crazy about this fucking clock app is that people will judge you intensely harshly based on just a tiny portion of who you are, and maybe not even a real version of who you are. You could be just like doing a goofy troll type video, and people will tell you to, you know, what do they say on TikTok? Unalive yourself? Unalive
yourself, yeah, because they can't say kill yourself.
Yeah, that'll get you a ban. That's against the community guidelines. But wow, because I've been on the internet. I did the MySpace thing, and I've been on YouTube since 2005. I've been posting videos, and we'll get into that because I know that beyond TikTok, you can tell you've been making content for a really long time. Recording music, like we'll get into that. But the TikTok thing is so wild because people straight up told me on this one video that got 350K views where I'm talking about how my mom's health is declining. They're straight up telling me that I don't care about my mother based on...
I remember seeing that. Mine was boggled, man. I was like, what the fuck? These people have no goddamn right. What the fuck?
Dude, it's crazy. And it's based on a 9-second video where I'm like, watching your parent decline is rough. That's essentially all I said. And these motherfuckers are like, grow a pair of balls. It's like, dude, chill out. Like, I was having a moment, and I didn't have anyone to talk to about it because I'm trying to be strong for my mother. Like, I don't want to be like, Alice, this is so hard on me.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is really hard because I know how hard it is for her. I'm trying to be strong. I roll up to the 7-Eleven, and I'm just like, this sucks. People are like, you're a fucking pussy. I'm like, dude, I'm just having a moment. Like, I'm emotional. But
and that's okay. Like I feel it's one of those things where I want to see it getting better, but like even on TikTok, obviously I'm seeing that's not the case. It's like it's okay for people to just have emotional moments. You know what I mean? Like that's not a bad thing. You need to get that shit out of you sometimes.
Big time. I have therapy and all that, and
nice.
And I still feel like I'm about to explode some days. and TikTok is, you kind of just pop on your phone and scream at it. And next thing you know, a bunch of people are telling you how stupid you are. It's fun.
Yeah. A lot of people like to tell me what I do and don't need to be doing with my music. This is my favorite thing. This is the exact thing you need to do if you want to be successful. And it's like constantly contradicting each other. And I'm just like, okay, guys, whatever.
Yeah, give me some examples. Go into this because I'm kind of like I'm uber caffeinated and I'm talking too much, so I gotta let you.
No, you're good.
Sorry,
you're good. One of my favorite ones that I saw recently was someone going on there like, you know, if you made music that was more like what's popular right now, you'd be doing a lot better. It's like that's like the most sell out your art thing I've ever heard in my entire life. But okay, whatever makes you happy, man.
There's no set of rules.
I know. And
everyone thinks they got to figure it out. And this is my question. If these motherfuckers got to figure it out, then why are they not super famous and writing hit songs?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's what Finn McKenty says. Is like, you think it's so easy to write a hit song? Fucking do it. Just do it.
Yeah. And it's not, and you know what I mean? Like, you could be the best songwriter in the world, but that's only half the battle, right? If you can't market yourself, if you don't know how to connect with people, if you don't, know how to push yourself further into the world, what fucking good does it do? Nothing. It doesn't do anything.
You got to be sexy too. That's
it. It helps.
That helps.
The sex appeal is big. Blonde hair.
Yeah, dude.
We got it.
Yeah, we're dyeing our hair. We're close in age. Old people making music. We're doing the damn thing.
You just got to do it.
I have a weird question. I don't know if it's a weird question, but I'm going to ramble off some shit. I'm like, my brain is going, I've never had a podcast this early before.
Me neither.
And I have had a few milestones recently. I had someone urinate on my podcast during the remote interview, and then I had someone defecate during a remote interview. They took the phone into the bathroom with them, and then I had someone take their blood pressure.
Okay.
On my podcast. So this is another milestone. Earliest kind of like coffee talk.
I wish I would have come up with something like really extreme to do so that I could give you like something you could talk about. Fuck.
It doesn't matter.
Should I shit my pants? I could do it if I needed to.
No, don't. That's messy. No, we're good. This is good. I'm enjoying myself. But the question I was going to ask. So we're on the internet and you see these people and you live kind of vicariously through them. And then what do they call it? It's a parasocial relationship.
Yeah. Parasocial relationship.
Yeah. So I've been watching Fantano for, since 2011.
Sounds about right.
I like Fantano a lot. Like, I don't always agree with his takes, but I just think he's a dude that I would hang out with if he were in my city. He's like a nerdy dude, loves music, plays the bass. Like, he seems like he and I would be homies. Now, so when you were actually talking to him, were you nervous?
Like a little bit, not super though, because like I've been following him for a long time, but it's definitely not like it wasn't like meeting somebody that you're like, I'm obsessed with this person. I've been watching him for years and years and years, and I'm like super worried. It was more just like, oh, this is a person who is very knowledgeable about music, probably knows more about music than I do. I just don't want to make a fool of myself.
Yeah, because what I've been interviewing TikTok people. Like this is the first time you and I have had a conversation.
Yeah.
So, but what's weird, and what I'm coming to find out is when you hang out with spend so much time with these people on the internet, when you're actually doing a remote thing like this, or even a face-to-face meeting with someone for the first time, it's like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you feel
the Fantano
that?
thing was cool, and he was really nice. Is the thing is like I feel like a lot of people give him shit all the time for his opinions, and that's the thing. It's like that's his entire career is his opinion, which is awesome. But he's like a super nice person. He's easy to talk to, and we chatted a bit before the interview started. Like we were just trying to have a good time. Like nice guy, fun chat.
That's beautiful. He had the tramp stamps on, which was another like TikTok. I feel like there's a lot more controversy behind the tramp stamps thing than with you.
And I feel like they got a bad rap, man, because like I've listened to some interviews with the singer Marissa. She like, I think the internet just went wild on her because they were doing this thing that they thought was fun, and then everyone misinterpreted it really hard. But they also kind of like backed themselves into a corner and did like the whole like, oh no, guys, like press releases and stuff. And I was like, man, you should have just did your thing. Don't worry about it. Fuck the internet.
Yeah. How do you deal with the negativity? Because there have been times where my girlfriend was like, put your phone down. Like, you need to stop replying to these people. Like, it's literally ruining your real life.
I just don't reply to them, honestly. I just scroll past. I'm like, I get hot for a moment when I see someone say something dumb or be like, oh, you're terrible and you're a failure. And you're like, oh, well. That's it. Like a lot of people now are like, there's a lot of positivity coming in. And so I see a lot of positive comments and stuff. And I just got to focus on that stuff. The people that are into it, the people that are having fun with me.
Yeah, it's funny because out of all the people on that one post about my mom, that are like, I'm going through it too. My mom's getting older. My dad has dementia. I really feel this post. The people that were telling me to grow a pair, the people that were telling me that like, think about how she feels. I was like, dude, I know how she feels. Like,
yeah.
But those are the people that I was just like, I'm gonna like meet me at the 7-Eleven parking lot, you know. And I'm not a fighter. I haven't gotten in a fight since 1999, and that was with my little brother, you know.
Yeah.
But man, some of these motherfuckers on the internet make like I'm a kind of an obsessive person, so the negativity like cycles through my head like over and over again, and I'm just like, yeah, how can I clown these people? How can I respond in a way that's gonna totally own them? But yeah, it's probably more productive to ignore it.
Yeah, you'll never win in those situations, right? Because they just want you. They want to rile you up, and they want to get your attention, and they want to piss you off. And as soon as they see that, they're like, "Oh, I have power over this person." So the best thing I've found to do is just like fucking ignore them, because that pisses them off even more than anything. Because they'll post on every single one of your things trying to get your attention, and you just ignore the crap out of them. It's really funny.
The other funny part is when people are like, why is this on my For You page? Like you like drove over to their For You page and you took your video and you put it down there. You're like, I'm putting this here. Like that, like it's not algorithmically siphoned into their feed. Like you personally put it there.
I did. I contacted TikTok. My favorite was like, this guy's paying a lot of money to get this shit in front of people. And I was like, I'm broke, man. I ain't paying no money for nothing.
Yeah, I used to pay money for Facebook ads.
I don't do that shit.
And because it worked for a minute. Like when they first rolled it out, I was like, holy shit, you can put $5 behind an ad and thousands of people will see it. But I feel like these days when I do that, I'm just like, I might as well have lit that $10 on fire.
Yeah, it's a total fuck show now. None of it's worth spending any money on.
Yeah, the metaverse, I'm not a fan. I've found and met a lot more cool people through TikTok than any social media app I've ever been on.
I think, and I've said it a lot of times, I think it's just, it changed the field for making connections with other people, especially as like a creator, because there's no barrier to entry. Anybody can do it. You could have a shit song, but if you've got a phone, you can record it and put it up there and you can start making connections and start like building friends and a community and stuff. And that's like never been seen before in the music industry in the way that it is now.
Yeah, and for creatives in general as well. It's not just musicians. I mean,
of course.
There's people doing like crazy baking content and like all the dance stuff. It's
the dog stuff gets me. I love it, man. Like when people do like voiceovers for their dogs, I live for that content.
Yeah, there's one creator that does like fashion shows where the dog has like a French accent. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I think I've seen the content. Yeah,
it's amazing.
So good.
God bless.
People are so creative. Like, you know what I mean? If you had to like sell this to some corporation to convince them to give you enough money to make your show or whatever, it'd never happen. But because you can digest it super quickly and like it's made with a phone, the internet makes it possible, and I love it.
Yeah, and the people's abilities to produce things on a budget these days has, like when I was driving around with that 18-year-old the other day, he's like, yo, my buddy like has a studio in his bedroom. It's dope. We just get high and we like make rap songs. And I'm like, yeah, dude, recording stuff is sick. I was like, back in the day, because I'm old, and I would always preface like whatever I was about to say. I'm old because I just couldn't believe that they were born in fucking 2004.
That's wild.
But I said, yo, in 2004, my band was putting out our second record, and that shit cost it cost like $10,000.
Oh god, that's bonkers.
To do a 13-song record, because we were paying $50 an hour for studio time, and we were in a full-blown recording studio, and we had a little bit of backing, but we're just like, this is what you need to do. We didn't have the gear, so you got to go somewhere where it's going to sound good. And it ended up being like thousands of fucking dollars.
Do you have, were you on a label at the time or?
We started our own label.
Cool.
I was living with this dude that was a plumber. And so we call him a shit pipe cleaner. You know, the dude, the roto-rooter guy, the guy that does sewer cleaning. It's not exactly a plumber, shit pipe cleaner, but
I like that.
He believed in the band. So he's like, let's put out this record. We're going to make a mint. And he spent all this money. And then we like had the album release party and there was 500 people there, but
that's good.
But the venue we rented was like $5,000. And when you take all the overhead, we didn't make any fucking money on the record. Yeah. We didn't make any money on the party, but you know, we had boxes of CDs.
I remember those. I threw away a bunch of those actually not that long ago because I still had hundreds of CDs from many years back.
From your old bands?
From one of my old bands, yeah. I had bit the bullet and bought 1,000 of something that we did so that I could get a really good deal on them because I was like, I'm gonna make this happen. And I sold a shitload of them, like 400 of them.
Yeah.
But then you still got 600 CDs left.
Oh yeah, I got in my mom's basement. There's a box of our first album that. But it's weird. Even this day, when my band goes out and we play, there are people still buying CDs, and it's not like a fuckload of people, but there are days where I'll look at the tally sheet of our merch shit, and it's like, dude, we sold fucking 13 CDs tonight. That's fucking insane. Like
That's cool.
people, because like I'll be at a show and someone will give me a CD these days, and I'll just be like, I have no way to play this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I could put it in my PC at home and listen to it on my TV. Is like, I don't have a CD player in the van, you know?
Does anybody have CD players anymore? I know some people do, but not very many.
It's wild. It's wild because I remember, I was telling these kids about Laserdiscs. Did you ever witness Laserdisc?
I know about Laserdiscs from SLC Punk. I don't think I ever held one in my hands because it was like an 80s thing, right? And I was just born at the end of the
late 80s, early 90s.
Okay, yeah. So I would have been like a baby when Laserdisc was a thing, and my parents didn't really get into Laserdisc.
Yeah, I had a rich friend growing up, and we went. I remember he had a big screen TV, but it was like the only way you could get a big screen TV was like it was a box. It was a giant rectangle which had a huge projection. Like it took up so much space in the basement of his house, and he got a Laserdisc player. And we watched Terminator 2 on a Laserdisc, and it took 2 discs, and you had to flip one side of it. So like in order to watch the movie, you had to watch it in 4 chunks. And I just remember being like, this is the future. And then Terminator 2, of course, this is the future, like liquid metal and CGI. And it was one of those moments, like you were saying, listening to Cheshire Cat, just like a mind blowing moment for me. But yeah, I was trying to tell these kids that, before DVDs, they had laser discs and they were like the size of a giant Frisbee. And they're like, no way, dog.
You're lying. That's not true. You're just making shit up.
Yeah, it's weird because this shit sneaks up on you, the disconnect between generations. Like even my girlfriend is like, she's 7 years younger than me. She's 33. And there's shit that she has no idea about. Bon Jovi, Madonna, like 80s stuff, but I don't know shit about SpongeBob. So
I do. I got that perfect spot because I love music. I know a lot about some older bands and stuff like that. What was it? I saw someone, Morgan on TikTok, right? She does all the dancing and everything.
Yeah, she's nice.
Yeah, super nice. And someone was giving her shit about how she was too young to listen to Iron Maiden. And I was like, who is too young to listen to any band ever? Nobody.
That's so silly. Yeah, I saw her reaction on that.
Yeah, just dumb, silliness.
But Iron Maiden is one of those bands where you could bring your kids to see them.
Yeah.
And part of their longevity is the fact that their music is so universally digestible. Like kids just getting into heavy metal are going to listen to that and be like, this is fucking amazing. Like, who cares if it came out in 81 or 84?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I can listen to, I've been listening to a lot of like early 60s country music. Because I was reading the Johnny Cash biography, and so I was like, I'm just going to dig back into this. And man, the music is so good. It doesn't matter. Like some of it's recorded poorly, but it sounds amazing. The songwriting is unreal.
Yeah, I mean, the Misfits were recorded poorly, but that shit's amazing. So what is real punk, Andy Negative?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't think I have an answer. I think it's just like believing in yourself, like doing what you want to do and not really caring what anybody else thinks. And then also like accepting people for who they want to be and not trying to tell other people what is and isn't real punk. I think real punk is like a stupid thing to say.
Yeah. Isn't it funny that something that's supposed to be about free expression and something that's supposed to be about no rules, no limits, like punk is what you make it, what Mike Watt used to say. Yeah. And then somewhere down the line, it became a set of rules. It became a sound that you need to adhere to. It became a fashion template that you need to adhere to. And that whole thing just blows my mind. I remember when my band first started in Detroit in the early 2000s, people would say they're not punk. And I'm just like, yeah, who the fuck cares?
It doesn't matter.
Like, yeah.
Like a lot of people, I remember because when pop punk was a big thing, that didn't count. right?
I
And was like,
remember.
oh, that's not real punk. And then now it's like, oh, this isn't real pop punk. And you're like, well, what the fuck, man? Like, who cares?
This isn't real pop punk.
You're right. It's not real pop punk. It's punk pop, I guess. It's edgy pop. I just say like edgy pop. That's what it is.
What's weird is how much shit especially like listening to Cheshire Cat. I remember there was at some point where I became too cool for pop punk or too cool for emo, which is funny because in 1997 I was like, I just want a girlfriend, and then 2004 2005 hit and it's MCR and Fall Out Boy and whatnot, and for some reason I'm just like, this is bullshit. And it's like dude, like in 1997 you were the same person just like 7 years ago. You were like longing, listening to emotional music played by whiny boys, and what makes you cool now is it's pretty silly looking back at it.
Yeah, I was right in the thick of that too, the mall emo thing. So that was a big thing for me. It was like get introduced to Blink 182, and then like the mall emo thing happens, and like Green Day, Blink are all doing the emo thing, and it was like My Chem, Fall Out Boy, Panic, and like so many other bands. Like it was a cool time. Like I really enjoy that kind of music, but I guess a lot of people now are, it's not real emo because it's not DC hardcore, and you're like, shut the fuck up.
Who cares? Like what you like.
Exactly. And like that stuff's wildly popular. There's no doubt about it, especially to people that are around my age. Like, oh, Mike Kemp put out a new song, the internet. It was all like my entire Twitter feed for 2 days was just that. And I'm like, fuck it. That's awesome.
Yeah, people lost their minds. And yeah, and when they announced that festival, the When We Were Young Fest, did you write that song after they announced the festival? Like you took the title of the festival and you're like, I'm going to write a song about that.
No, I had written the song beforehand, stealing the title from the Killers song. But then it just was serendipitous. So I recorded it because I had like written it on my acoustic guitar or whatever. And then was like, oh shit, okay, cool. I should finish this and put it out, kind of like capitalize a little bit on the hype. And then it went crazy.
So, okay. So you came up, that was based off the Killers song title, which is when you were young, the Killers, or when we were young?
I think so. Yeah. But I just had the idea of like the crowd chant of like when we were young. It was in my head. And I had like this idea of writing about like the posters that the motivational posters that you'd see in like kindergarten classes and stuff.
You can be anything you want to be if you just dream and work hard.
Exactly. Shoot for the moon, motherfucker.
So when we were young had nothing to do with the announcement of the huge emo fest in Vegas.
No, the idea to like get it out was like, oh, cool. I'm going to put it out now. Like I'll record it and put it out because I just do everything here in my room. But like the song had already been written. Okay,
that's cool. That's interesting because I think from an outside perspective, people could be like, oh, they announced the festival and then Homeboy writes this song. Did you get any observations like that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And it's fine. Like I can say otherwise. I can be like, oh, that's not what happened, guys. And people be like, you can believe me, you can not believe me. It doesn't really matter. Like, I don't have to convince anybody. But yeah, people definitely think that I just lied and wrote it after the fact. I did record it after the fact. I will admit that.
Right. I love how chill you are about all these fucking dickheads. I want to fight.
What are you
people.
Gonna do, man? I'll tell you what, like the first, I want to say like week to maybe 2 weeks of when like all the hate really started happening. Cause I've had internet hate before, so I'm used to it, but like it was super bad, worse than it's ever been before. And I was like really like, I couldn't sleep at night because it was like, all I would think about was all like how these people just fucking hate me. And like, what am I going to do? Like, oh God, what's the thing? And then I don't know. It's like kind of a positivity thing, but I just use I try to ask myself, how is this the best thing that's ever happened to you? Try to reframe my point of view. And then just like, you know what, even if a bunch of people hate me, I'm sure it'll lead me to a good place if I can just keep doing my thing. Like it'll pass eventually. And it did.
That's so healthy. Congrats.
I try.
So, okay. So you had the song written and the festival is announced. So you're like, okay, I'm going to record and release the song. Now, is that the song that put you in front of everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where it kind of snowballed, I think, into kind of like where it put me where I am now, at least. I
was listening to it on Spotify yesterday, and there's something that really resonates with me about being promised as a child of the 90s.
Yeah.
I was born in the 80s, but I graduated high school with TRL and Blink and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So I was at the tail end of that. But I remember in high school, people, whether they were guidance counselors or teachers, they told you, you're so talented, you can do anything you want. And I grew up privileged. I grew up I was in a nice town, went to a nice school, and everyone was just feeding me this bullshit that I'm going to get out in the world and I'm just going to dominate because you're smart, you're capable, you're talented, all this shit, yada, yada. And your lyric about being promised the world, that's how it goes? We were promised the world.
And all we got was this t-shirt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, yo, that's my fucking life. Because in my 20s, I realized that, holy shit, this is really hard. I'm a way smaller fish in a big, big, giant pond now. I'm not like in this small town. I'm not this popular kid, like in a band and smoking weed and friends with everybody. Like that's, high school was easy. And then I get out and then I started getting real depressed. Like all of the trauma from my childhood and stuff kind of just bubbled up, and I became, in my 20s and a fucking total mess, an alcoholic, all of it. Cause I'm like, I was supposed to be somebody. And so when I listen to your song, it's such a positive spin on that. Like, it's almost like we were betrayed by our teachers and the adults, but it's like, it doesn't fucking matter if we're poor. It doesn't matter if our dreams didn't come true. We're fucking beautiful. And I like that. I like that sentiment. It's really positive.
That's like you pretty much, that's it. You hit it right on the head. It was like very much designed for other millennials and stuff. And then I think Gen Z got their hands on it and didn't like that it wasn't about them or they couldn't relate to it. And that's part of the reason it kind of like popped off the way that it did.
That's so interesting.
It's funny. We actually have a I would say like very similar kind of thing. Cause I was in like a white suburb in just outside of Ottawa, went to like a Catholic school, which like, I wasn't exactly like well-to-do, but I definitely wasn't like my parents could afford to buy me clothes and stuff. And then same thing, you're just promised like, hey man, your life is going to be great.
Yeah.
Just keep doing your thing. And then your 20s hit and you're like, fuck me.
Yeah.
This is hard as shit. And then same thing, like get depressed. Like I was supposed to be like a super famous musician or some shit, whatever it was, like I was supposed to be like taking over the world. And now I'm in my late 20s and I'm a fucking alcoholic. What the fuck?
Dude, yeah. I mean, and that's exactly what happened to me. But by the time I was 27, I was 250 pounds. My blood pressure was through the fucking roof. I was blacking out all the time. I was in I was terrible. I was the worst version of myself. And so much of that has to do with me feeling, what's the word when you feel like you deserve shit just for existing? What's that called?
Like you're
entitled. I felt this entitlement.
Entitled,
I felt this entitlement coming from, a well-to-do school and getting good grades and being on the National Honor Society and being all-state honors choir and being on the football team. Like, dude, I did everything right. And then I started chasing my dreams in my early 20s. I'm like, yo, this is going to be just as easy as that high school shit. And dude, it fucked me up. And on top of it, I had a rough childhood. My dad was fucking real mean. So it all like accumulated into this self-destruction, which is, it's just nuts to think that, I don't know, like more parents need to sit their kids down and be like, listen, the world isn't fair. You're not going to get everything you want. You can try really hard and you might not get shit, but you should do it anyway because you're great. Like I wish my mother told me that. My mother just said, as long as you're happy and doing what you want. And she was trying to negate the negative influence of my father, because my father's like, you're a nobody. Like even when I was doing well and I was doing all the things he wanted me to do, he still would never give me props. He would always, the one time when I was on the football team, I like lifted a bunch of heavy weight and he told me I cheated. He was that type of dude. But I'm talking about myself too much. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I just like I have my parents are super supportive human beings.
That's
They're
beautiful.
really, really kind, generous human beings. So I have nothing but good things to say about them. Like my upbringing was tough because of our like monetary situation, not because necessarily my parents were bad people or anything like that. They were phenomenal human beings who did their best to take care of me and my brother and provide us with like a good life. So I'm beneficial in that way. And even today, I have like a really good relationship with my parents. So, that's probably part of it, because they're just like, you could do whatever you want. Just go for it, man. They tried to keep me level headed, but I was like, fuck it. I'm going to try anyway and fail hard. So I failed a lot. I failed a fucking lot.
Same, dude. When you were in your 20s and you were in different bands, were there ever points where you were like, fuck this music shit, I got to get a real job type inner monologue type stuff?
Nah, I always was just like, I refuse to get a real job. I don't want to do it. And I would get like random odd jobs and stuff. And I've worked as a sound tech on and off like for 10 plus years, and as like a bartender, and just kind of like anything I could do in music venues and stuff, just to keep having like pushing away, having to try to get a real job.
Yeah, I feel like that's a misunderstanding with people that go into music. Like even those people that seem seemingly successful, like I have a friend who's in a legendary SoCal ska punk soul band, and he sometimes has to fucking paint houses or teach bass lessons. You know what I mean? And he's considered like a legend. And ultimately, what it comes down to is sometimes even if you're in a popular band, you still got to do the side gigs. Like I do my catering gig. I work for my girlfriend's candle company. Like
that's cool.
I'm always doing some other bullshit. What other bullshit do you do?
I edit videos for people if I can. You know what I mean? I try to help them with like, photos and shooting video, or I do sound tech gigs, loading gigs for bands, like whatever random industry stuff I can kind of just do to help other people, and then also just make sure I can keep paying rent. There
you go.
Yeah. I'd like to pretend that, music makes a lot of money, but it doesn't.
Yeah, because I'm not going to mention any names, but there's some of these music gurus on TikTok that are like, this is what you got to do to be successful. And then just based off my metrics, and I know how much money I make from DistroKid, and I go and check out how many streams they're getting. It's like, you gotta work some side gigs too, bro. Like we're all having to hustle on the side in order to do the things we like. And that's just the way it is. Sometimes I make money on tour. But when I'm not playing gigs, I'm at the fucking catering company, dude.
Yeah, and the touring thing, like obviously, I know that's getting floating around right now. I love it, like, because it's not monetarily feasible in a lot of cases. That doesn't fucking mean you shouldn't do it, though. Like, get out there, go sit in a van with your friends.
It's fun.
Waste your money, have a good time. Because like some of my best memories from my 20s are like the shitty tours that I did with my friends, and it stank. And we didn't make any money, and we played to 5 people, and it was fun.
Yeah, there you go. It's some of the most what's the, I don't know. It just makes you who you are. It
builds character.
Yeah, you go out there, you see what the world is like outside of your hometown, and you eat shitty food, and you sleep on people's floors, and it's really hard, but it's like, I don't know. There's something magical about it.
And if you can do it in the States too, I imagine it's a lot better, because in Canada, everything's really far apart and it's cold. So it's a lot harder to tour in Canada feasibly.
Yeah. And I feel like if you wanted to come over and do it in the States, you'd have to get some sort of like work visa type thing.
There's a lot of paperwork and stuff and like pitching, and you need to have like contracts in place from every single venue you're going to play. And if you try to do extra dates and they find out about it, they'll like fine you, and they can like, it's a huge process to be a Canadian band touring the States. And if you don't have help, it can be really difficult.
That sounds like a nightmare.
It is.
But I feel like the Canadian government does do some cool things, because what I've heard from my friend is they give some artists grants to just to be creative, and that's something that would never ever happen in the United States.
Yeah, there is a budget. I haven't gotten any of it yet, but I've applied a few times. It's all about pitching and who you know and how good you are at writing up grant proposals and stuff. But they do provide money for the arts, which is cool.
I wonder if the United States have that, if I could pitch my silly band that sings songs about, football practice and shit, like if they would give us a grant. Highly doubt it.
Well, you never know.
We're a tongue-in-cheek satirical punk funk band. Give us money.
I think your music's fun. I'm sure someone would give you money.
We'll see. But yeah, the United States isn't going to change. It's always going to be, it's pretty gnarly. At least they're raising the wages. Like I feel like COVID really lit a fire under some employers' asses once they realized that, hey, no one's going to want to work for you unless you actually compensate them. And especially in the service industry, I was talking to my buddy yesterday, who actually lives in Ottawa. It's funny.
Oh, nice.
He's my good friend. He's in a band called Critical. Do you remember that band?
Yeah.
His name's John. He plays bass.
It's possible that I would have met him in the years of
he knows
being
you
in the Ottawa venues. What?
He knows of you.
Oh,
He says you've worked at sound at venues before that he played.
Yeah. I've probably done sound for his band or bartended one of his shows.
He said this guy from my hometown did an interview with Mellon, and I'm like, yeah, Andy Negative. It's all connected in a weird way.
I love it.
Yeah, the internet brings people together. Yeah, because of the internet, we made it up to Ottawa, and my band played a gig there, and that dude ended up doing like 4 tours with my band. Like we flew him out under the pretense of he was visiting friends, and don't let the Canadian government know that. But,
I won't tell anybody.
But he was real sketched out about it. He's like, I think they know. And I'm just like, dude, they don't know. It's like literally. We flew him out. He brought his bass, and then we like borrowed a bass amp, and we did all these fucking tours. He's a great bass player.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
So what is poutine for those who don't know?
Poutine is basically French fries that are drenched with gravy and have cheese curds on them, and the cheese curds melt, so it's like melted cheese, gravy, and French fries.
Are you a fan?
It's okay. It's very much I don't really like it that much. I don't eat gravy very often.
You're not a gravy guy, huh?
It's just like hot congealed fat. I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me.
When you actually kind of dissect what we put in our bodies as far as the animal products
fucked
and whatnot,
up.
Yeah, it's really fucked up. Like I ate pizza yesterday. I'm like, this is so delicious. But if you actually get into the nitty gritty of how they get cheese, it's nasty.
Yeah, cheese is delicious. I love cheese.
I love cheese, but
try not to think about it.
Those poor cows.
I know. I feel bad for animals all the time. I frequently feel bad for animals. Like I think about pigs and how smart they are and how we just raise them and kill them and eat them.
They're supposedly smarter than dogs.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't eat my dog.
No.
I love my dog.
You have a dog?
Yeah, my mom has multiple Shih Tzus. So yeah, they're cute.
Dogs are great.
But it's like, would I eat one of those? I mean, maybe if I was stranded on a desert island and it was just me and the dogs, I might have to cook one of them up. But yeah, they're little beautiful creatures. And I have cats. Got 3 cats.
Cats are nice too.
I
have a cat.
Eat them.
She's very old. She woke me up super early this morning.
They do that. They wake you up. My girlfriend's out of town right now, so they wake you up. They're like, "Feed me, let me out." They yep. They punch you, or they have ways of making you wake up. So
yeah, this one steps on my throat.
That sounds violent.
Yeah, it's violent.
So you were making content before TikTok, obviously, because you can tell by watching your videos with the captions and the zooms and the way how quickly it's edited that you actually like do video editing. Were you doing YouTube stuff before your solo career, like for your other bands?
Yeah. I've been the social media guy for every band I've ever been in since I was a teenager, right? I set up the MySpaces and stuff. And, like I was terrible at it obviously for a long time, but I've very much been like, okay, the internet's going to be super important. These social media sites will be important. I probably wasted so much time on social media websites that I'll never get back, but I feel it's like a learning experience. But, yeah. And then I started a YouTube channel for myself 7 years ago or something like that. And I feel like that's where I really cut my teeth, learning how to make videos and be entertaining and cut in an interesting way and just provide entertaining content that hopefully catches people's attention.
Yeah, because that's the thing is if you were to have posted that song and it was just you like in your room playing it with the camera mic, and it wasn't cut together in a way that was easily digestible or fast, I don't think you would have popped off like you did. You wouldn't have.
Nope.
Yeah, so it's a good thing you had all those years under your belt editing shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like I knew too that like using the bright colored lights and like wearing the clothes that I was wearing, I thought really long and hard about deciding to wear that stuff because it was like I want to wear this, but people are going to think I look stupid. People are going to make fun of me for my clothes, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let them make fun of me. And then it got so much worse than I could have ever imagined.
But props to you, and for just like staying positive through all of it, because you could have got combative. You could have really defended yourself and went after people and been like, no, fuck you. Like, I've been doing this for this many years. And it seems to me like you just kind of got goofier with it.
Well, as soon as I saw that it was annoying people, I was like, cool, I should just do that more.
I love it.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I just want to have fun. And the people that are like connecting with what I do also want to have fun. Like, I was in my 20s. I was depressed. You know what I mean? Everything was dark and horrible. I don't want to continue to do that. I get that the current generation would connect with it more, but also things can be fun too.
Well, amen to that. Because I play in what I would consider a fun band, and
your band is fun,
and I want to continue to have fun, because you watch the news cycle, and if you really digest everything that's being unearthed as far as systemic racism and all the stuff that's going on in Europe, and then the fact that our country has been lying to us, the United States has been lying to its people for hundreds of years, and just making us think that we're the good guy when we're bombing hospitals. And if you really focus on all that, it's fucking depressing as shit. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to go outside. You just want to give up. And I feel like if you're providing someone an opportunity to forget about that, I feel like there's merit in that.
I think so too, because we need things that are fun. And as much as we need to be aware of and try our best to change the things that are terrible as much as we can individually, also we need to not, like, if you just constantly focus on the bad, everything will be bad always. And like you said, you'll just give up. You'll just curl up into a ball on the floor and cry. It's
hard to fight capitalism, especially in the United States. If you make it your goal to overthrow capitalism as a single human being,
good luck.
It's going to be a hard fight. And I hate working just as much as the next motherfucker, but I also just have to adhere to the system that's been in place ever since I was born and hundreds of years before that. And unfortunately, it blows, but you got to fucking grind. You got to make money, and I'm not going to go fight cops. I'm weak. I can't fight cops, dude. They'll kill me.
Me too. I'm tiny. I would get the shit kicked out of me so fast.
Yeah, and bless their heart, I have friends that are activists that, like, the guy that plays in my band, he fucking handcuffed himself to an excavator up in Minnesota when they were doing this oil pipeline thing.
Oh yeah.
And bless his heart's in the right place, but dude, he's like facing felony charges.
Oh,
yeah,
that's brutal.
And it's like, I applaud you, because it takes revolutionary people, and it takes people with a big pair of balls to change things, but it's going to take thousands of people just like him, and or millions of people. I don't know what it's going to take. It's going to take like murder and fucking a war against the capitalists. I don't know what it's going to take, but I don't know either. I'm tired. I'm 41. I just want to make silly music and make people laugh and dance around in my underwear, dude.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that is equally as important. We need things that can make people realize that it's not all fire and brimstone all the time.
Yeah, I can't function if I get on that, especially during the pandemic, because I don't know if it was like that for you, but when we were all isolated, it's like there was such a magnifying glass on all of the ills of the world, and I felt like we were all connected through our computers, that we just were like looking through this magnifying glass at all of this terrible shit, and I lost hope. I was like looking at my life. I'm like, this is pointless. I have a nice girlfriend. I have a nice cat. I had an apartment in Long Beach. It was fucking beautiful. Nice. Even though it was like catching on fire all the time.
Yeah,
it was nice, and I was too depressed to enjoy it because it was pandemic, and I was just like, I'm stuck here. There's no more shows, and the world is fucked. And I really regret. I mean, I couldn't help it. But
no, of course, and it's not you're not making an active decision to feel that way. That's just the way you feel.
That's what I would tell my girlfriend. I'd be like, listen, I'm not actively having these suicidal ideations. It's just happening, and it took
circumstance.
It took a while for her to get that, but also I could have been doing a little bit more on the self-help thing, and I definitely have been putting more effort into that lately.
That's good.
Focusing on gratitude, taking drugs, therapy, yada yada.
Do you work out a lot?
Yes.
No, nice. I've started focusing a lot more on my physical health. I quit drinking 7 months ago, and then started really focusing on just like physical activity and trying to like journaling and just trying to take care of what's up here.
Yeah, that helps. It's huge. Physical activity releases endorphins. It's good. I've been, I was a football guy, so I've been working out since high school. But my back is starting to hurt. I'm old, and the quitting drinking thing. A lot of people don't. A lot of people. It's such a commonplace in society to go out to places and get fucked up, and that's everyone's drinking, and that's just what you do. You drink, but that shit's a depressant.
Mm-hmm. It fucks you up, especially when you're doing it alone.
Yeah,
or to cope with your bad feelings.
Yeah, so 7 months, huh?
Yeah, 7 months.
Congrats. Is that something you're planning to stick with, like, for the foreseeable future, or for? Yeah. Do you think that you had a problem with it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Can you go into that a little bit? Because I'm an alcoholic. I've been clean since 2008. Haven't had a drink.
Congratulations.
Yeah, but like I want to hear your take on this because it's something that I get into a lot on this show.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, so when I was a teenager, I started drinking probably when I was 17 or something like that. Sorry, Mom. And then it's just like, you play in bands and you go to shows and it's party all the time. And then you start working in music venues and that's how they make their money, off of the bar, right? Yeah. So, the shows and the party and everything's about alcohol, and people pay you in alcohol when you're playing shows. And, you go to stay at people's houses and there's beer, and, the next thing you know, you're working in bars, and it's been 15 years and you've just been drinking every single day. And then the pandemic hit and you're sitting at home and you're drinking and there's nothing to do. And I got a job at just like a regular bar, like a sports bar, because the music venues were all closed.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck am I doing, man? I don't like sports.
I love it.
Yeah. And then, I just got like super hammered for the umpteenth time, like blackout, like fucked myself up, biked home and fell off my bike I was on a bike path. There was nobody else. It was like 4 a.m, but I just like fell off my bike a bunch of times and just like really fucked myself up. I think I sprained a rib, and it's just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, you're in your 30s, grow the fuck up, do something that's like positive.
That's beautiful. And honestly, it takes some sort of physical occurrence, I feel, to hit that rock bottom. And not to get too into it, but on my last podcast, I talked about how in 2004, I believe it was, I defecated the bed because I was so blacked out. And
Oof.
Yeah. But that was like very eye opening. I'm like, okay, I have a drinking problem, but it took another 4 years. And yeah, I tore my ACL once when I was blacked out. I would drive the work van.
Oh no.
When I was fucked up, I would get fucked up at work because I work for a catering company, and it's really easy to get fucked up on the job. And yeah, sometimes it takes getting thrown off your bike a bunch of times. It takes like waking up covered in bruises and bloody. Like there was shows I've been to where I blacked out and I woke up like and my knees were like all covered in blood, and I'm just like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
I have a problem.
Yeah. And that's what it comes down to. It's like you realize, and then it takes you a lot longer once you realize to make an active decision to try to get better. And then that takes a few tries, because it's not like the last time I stopped wasn't the first time I stopped.
Exactly. I remember the first time I tried stopping, all my friends would just laughed at me.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "You're never gonna fucking quit drinking. You're one of us."
Yeah. Well, I didn't tell anybody the first time I tried, because I was like, well, I don't want anyone to know, because they're just gonna be like, no, fuck you.
This is what people do. Don't you want to be a person?
Yeah. And that didn't work out. So
what's funny is you become a better person when you're not fucked up all the time.
I wake up every day and I don't feel like shit.
Congrats. I'm proud of you.
Fucking awesome.
Dude.
Yeah.
Because, and it's weird, because I talk all the time about the shitting in the bed thing and quitting drinking, and people, they'll pop in my inbox and they'll be like, how did you do it? How did you do it? And it's like with you, it's like I had these eye-opening kind of rock bottom moments, and I realized I don't want to be that person anymore. I can speak. I don't want to slur. I can, I don't want to be fighting, like wrestling strangers at a bar when I'm blacked out. I don't want to wake up with injuries. I don't want to get behind the wheel of a car and potentially hurt somebody. Like I don't want to fuck anyone's life up, period.
Yeah. Including your own.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I did my first show probably since I was like a teenager without like drinking anything just a couple, like 2 months ago or something like that. And that was like such a surreal, strange experience because it was still just as fun as it always was. I just didn't drink anything while I was there. It was cool.
Do you feel like you connected with that youthful, like when you first started playing shows, you probably were like 16, 17, right?
Yeah, I think I was 15, maybe even 14.
Did you like catch a glimpse of that high that you get without the booze from just the performance?
Yeah. And then just being able to talk to people and connect with people, and you got to like manufacture your own fun. You can't rely on alcohol to do it for you.
Yeah, and at first it was rickety at first when I started doing shows sober, but now there's nothing that gets me higher in the fucking world. I'm trying to think, what else do I get high off of? It's pretty much the number one thing. Playing a show and connecting with people IRL in real life it's the best drug in the world, and that's why
there's nothing like it. That's
why I'm 41 years old. And I am about to hop in a van with my fucking friends in a month because I am an addict, and I'm choosing these days to be addicted to stuff that won't kill me. Oh, I don't know. Getting in a van might kill you
eventually.
But it might kill me.
Yeah. And honestly, like that, whatever, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, jumping around like an idiot in front of people is for me, like the single greatest feeling I think I'll ever been able to put inside of my body. And it doesn't matter like what state you're in. If you're clear headed, you can just really enjoy it. It's so much fun. And I thrive for it. Like, I just wish I could do it all the time.
It's beautiful. I'm proud of you. I love hearing when
Thanks,
people,
man.
Cause booze sucks, dude. Smoke all the weed you want, eat the mushrooms, stay away from pills and booze is my advice. Fucking cocaine, Yeah,
that shit's no good. No good.
Mushrooms though.
I've done them a few times. I'm just like, I've done them enough where I'm like, I could take it or leave it. I'll leave it.
Make you a little queasy, but
yes, they do make you a little queasy.
I'm
pretty much just coffee now. I'm very much addicted to drinking mountains of coffee every day.
Yeah, I'm a caffeine addict myself. I'm addicted to like three things. I'm addicted to the chemicals that are released after you make the thing happen with your area. If you catch my drift. And then I'm addicted.
That one's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. I'm addicted to caffeine and playing live music. Yeah.
I'm also addicted to the creation aspect. I really enjoy writing music, editing videos, like that. The like making the thing. I like making things.
Same.
It's fun.
The video editing thing is something I've really been getting heavy into, especially after the pandemic. I'm like, all right, I gotta take this shit seriously. Got this mic and took some of the government money, got this camera, yada yada. And
nice. Yeah, that's a good mic too.
Yeah, dude. It's I call it the Fantano mic.
Yeah.
Or the Ethan Klein mic.
Yeah.
But it's a broadcasting staple for however many years.
Yeah, the RE20.
There you go. Who makes it again?
Electro Voice.
There you go. You know better than I do.
I know a few things. I just try not to talk about it too much. Come across as a nerd.
Whoa, did you hear that noise?
I think it's like just some of the delay between Zoom and our voices.
It was a Twitch thing. It was because I'm on OBS right now recording.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So like while we're on it with the live thing, is there any Andy Negative live shows planned in the future?
Yeah, I'm doing a show here in Ottawa on the 27th of May. We're raising money for the Humane Society because we love animals. It's just like an acoustic thing with a bunch of my pals, so cool. It should be pretty fun. And then I'm like actively working on getting stuff booked for the summer. I don't know what's going to happen. It's like things are still so hit or miss, right? Because everyone's booking shows and booking tours, and then halfway through is like, we got to cancel half the dates because the bass player got COVID because they were making out with some chick in the back of the van.
Yeah, We Are the Union just had to, because they follow you, I noticed.
Yeah, I like them. They're great.
I know Reed, she's a Michigan person, and then their guitarist Ricky, and then of course Scott2 Network.
Yeah, well, I know Jer, and then that's how I found out about the rest of the band, and then I've just been following them because they make cool music and they seem like fun people.
Absolutely, but yeah, they're on tour right now, and it's like fuck.
They have to drop dates.
Yeah, drop dates, and then they have to quarantine themselves in hotel rooms, and it's a fucking nightmare.
Even the Avril Lavigne tour, she came to Canada and they had to cancel 4 or 5 of the dates because somebody on the crew got COVID.
And that's all it takes is one person. One person gets it and everyone has to, yeah. So yeah, it is a roll of the dice for sure. But
so yeah, that's like, I'm still hesitant about shows like out of town stuff because, you know, it costs money and time to go out of town. And as much fun as it is, if you have to cancel the day before because somebody got COVID or whatever, fuck, that sucks.
Yeah, and then you're stuck in some weird town and you just have to sit there and like wait till you get a negative test.
Yeah.
Oh, you're making me nervous about June.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's like it's that thing. It's like I want to go do it. Fuck, but I know this is a very real possibility. But it doesn't. It's like I'm just constantly. It's just the two things fighting against each other. But I'm sure you'll be fine.
When you go do it, are you gonna get a bass player and a drummer to back?
I have a bass player and a drummer.
Okay, so boom.
Yeah, we were already a band to begin with. I was just also doing Anndy Negative, and then we were just doing the band. It was just like a punk rock thing. We were doing it for fun, and then the pandemic hit, and the bass player had a pre-existing condition and had to quarantine for like a year. He couldn't leave his house for a fucking year. And then Anndy Negative started to pop off, and I was like, guys, I'm so focused on this. Do you guys want to just like come be the band for this instead? And they're like, can we still play the other songs? Like, yeah, okay, cool, let's do it.
Well, there you go. Yeah, because when you were talking to Fantano, you were saying that you had the band and you guys did the blank night and it popped off, and so it's the same people.
Yeah, and it was just
Beautiful.
fun. And I just like making music with them. They're like, the dudes that have been playing punk rock as long as I have, that are around my age, and we just like have fun. And that to me is like super important.
Yeah, and it's important that you're on the same page. That's beautiful. It seems serendipitous.
Yeah, it worked out really well. And then I'll do acoustic stuff, I think, is the other thing, because I like doing it. And it seems like there's a lot of people that really enjoy the acoustic stuff that I do. That's like, I get mostly positive comments on my acoustic stuff, but it just doesn't reach out as far, I think.
Yeah.
But I like it. So
you can do both.
Exactly. You don't have to choose. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm only an acoustic artist. Like, no.
Yeah, there's no rules anymore. It's over. The rules we got rid of all the rules. We burned them.
I love that way that there's no rules. I love that you can do literally whatever you want and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I remember my band would get reviews back in the early 2000s, and they're like, you can't mix this with this and do that. And it's like, none of that matters. Even in pop music, everything is so congealed, and there's so many influences happening, and there's so many throwbacks to older sounds, and then they're modernized with recording techniques like shit like Dua Lipa and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's really... It's the final frontier. It's like everything old is new, and everything new is old, and yada yada, vice versa.
Oh, exactly. And I love, like, I enjoy modern pop music. I think that there's a lot to be like learned from listening to it and seeing what they do, because like a lot of those producers are amazing at keeping people's attention.
Yeah.
And whether you want to say it's real music or not, like it is, because it holds people's attention. And we're just seeing that, yeah, it's a congealed mess of genre. Genre is, I hope, going away.
I'm trying to think of what big pop star recently referred to their music as post-genre. I don't know, but it
that
was
sounds
somebody.
Really...
Was it Billie Eilish? It was somebody.
Maybe.
Someone was like, what type of music you play? I don't know. It's post-genre. And
that's something you could say it's a big pop artist for sure.
Yeah, and I think to live in an era where there are no rules is a beautiful thing, because even in the late 90s, early 2000s, like you had to be a new metal band, or you're a rap rock band, or you're a pop punk band, or you're a hardcore band. And it's like now we we play shoegaze, doom, pop, bedroom, punk, hardcore. I don't know.
I like it. Well, that's, you see a lot of these, like, especially the young artists, the 16-year-olds that are putting up stuff on TikTok, and it's like this weird amalgamation of like, it's got guitars in it, but it's also got 808s, and like they scream and they sing, and then randomly there's like just like violins, and you're like, I don't know what these kids are doing, but I like it.
Yeah, just get fucking weird, mix it all up. My mother called me, and I have to go. She's actually getting her shit pipes cleaned, not her actual colon, but her plumbing. I have to go. I have to go supervise.
Checks out.
These men. I have to make sure that they don't harm her. But Anndy Negative, I could talk to you for fucking probably a way longer time, but we're at an hour 08, and I feel like we touched on some subjects. I apologize. It's an early podcast if I talk too much.
All good, man.
But
it was a fun conversation.
Yeah, it's been an honor, and congrats on the not drinking.
You too.
Yeah, that shit almost killed me.
Yeah,
and
same.
And congrats on the visibility and the Mellon interview and all the fun you're having with the haters, and it's inspiring to me to see someone like you like getting a lot of negativity, and you still got a smile on your face. So thank you for being you and continuing to be positive.
I'd say the same about you, man. I enjoy the thing that you're doing. It's fun to watch.
Yay. I'm glad intense is a way. That's funny too.
Yeah, that would be that'd be the word that I would use to qualify you.
I mean, screaming at your phone is fun to do at times.
That's it. Yeah.
But I want to keep it positive, because what's the point in adding more negativity to the world? Like, I want to have fun before I croak, you know?
Yeah. And it seems like you've already done a lot of really cool, fun stuff. So keep doing fun, cool stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing. Because I get down on myself a lot. I'm just like, oh, I should have more money in my bank account. I should have done this, and accolades and notoriety and respect. And it's like, dude, sometimes I tell these stories on the Clock app, and I'm like, yo, I can't even fucking believe I did this shit. It's it's insane.
You played with Guar. You played with Insane Clown Posse. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
You've lived a cool life.
It's been weird, dude. Yeah, and but yeah, I'm in therapy, and we're doing a lot of gratitude work, and we're really working on focusing on the things we have to be grateful for. And I think that's, besides the pills, it's one of the best tools in trying to fight this depression thing, is to really focus on all the things that you're lucky to have, you know, and trying actively to not do things to fuck that up.
Yeah.
Like drink or like cheat on your significant other. There's so many things you could do to sabotage the beautiful things you have in your life. And my goal is, don't fuck this up, dude.
Well, man, I tell you right now, you deserve the things that you have. The good things in your life, you deserve them. So
I deserve these cats.
Yeah, hell yeah, you do.
I love them. All right, Andy Negative, I gotta roll, dude.
Yeah, take off, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, let's do this again.
My inbox is always open for you, buddy.
All right, beautiful to know you. And real quick, plug whatever before I hit the button.
I'm Andy Negative. Just go follow me. We're having fun. Just be part of the community. It's gonna be a good time.
Yay! All right,
That's it.
dude. Here, how about this? You hit the red button on the Zoom, and then I'm gonna hit the thing on here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. I'll see you on the internet.
See you later, buddy.
Later, dude. Bye. Hey, do you like this video? Do you want to see more stuff like it? Well, consider being a patron of my Patreon page, patreon.com/Neil P. If you pledge monthly, you get some perks, you get some exclusive content, and you get to help stuff like this get made on the monthly. Yo, check it out.